Hey there, friends and neighbors. How's it going? Jedi Phoenix with you here once again. Welcome to another edition of the Chronicles. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos that I got coming down the pike. So my last video, I reviewed the Guardian from Ultrasabers, which was my grand prize from their winter raffle. What I have for you today is the saber that I ordered that won me the grand prize. This is the Emperor's Hand. I'll give you a minute to have a gander at it before I go into the particulars of it. This was another saber that was up on my wish list. For those who don't know, this is inspired by Mara Jade's lightsaber from the Expanded Universe, or the Legends continuity, as Disney calls it now. And if you don't know who Mara Jade is, you really need to pick up the Empire trilogy by Timothy Zahn, Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and Last Command. Very highly recommended, both not only to find out who Mara Jade is, but also just the Star Wars stories. They're fantastic. You know, that would have been the real episodes 7, 8, and 9, if you want to get right down to it. But she's one of the better characters of the Expanded Universe continuity. But this was a saber based on her hilt. As far as the standards, it is about 11 inches long from top to bottom. Give a look at the pommel, how that looks. This is pretty much available in two finishes, as the black and the silver. And the screws here, you can either get black or silver as well. I went with silver. And the switch box is either angled or rectangular. I went with angled, just for the look. So about 11 inches long. The blade sits about 3 inches deep. And I have a 36-inch blade in here now. Back up a little so you can get the idea of how this looks. I think with a 36-inch blade, you still have enough blade space left. If you're a duelist or for sparring, you'll have enough to get away with. And it's not a cumbersome hilt at all because of the length of it. You can swing this one pretty easily. But you still have enough length on the hilt for a two-handed grip, I think. Especially if you hold it, if you put your one hand above the switch box and the other hand under it, you can get a pretty comfortable two-hand grip here. Okay? For dueling purposes. And because the blade does sit so deep, I think you got a very sturdy housing for a blade. You don't have to worry about it popping out on you. You could do a 32-inch, I think, as well. If you're not much of a stickler for dueling, if you're just going to be swinging it around, you can get away with a 32. I don't think a 40 would work as well, though. A 40 might make it a little front heavy. Similar to the Guardian, I mentioned the same thing. I think a 40-inch, some hilts are better suited for a 40-inch than others. I don't think this is one of them. I think you're going to want to be able to maneuver this one. One thing I do need to note for you, the retention screw is not the usual rinky-dink screws that we're used to. You know, the ones that you need this Allen key for. It's actually a little longer, well, a bigger head, I should say, than that. And the screw itself is on the opposite side of this button here. So this is your retention screw here. And when I unboxed this, if you've seen the video, you already know, a couple of these screws had come loose. But it was nothing broken. They just had to be retightened. And if you get yourself a standard hex wrench set, I don't know what size wrench you're going to need. I'm terrible with sizes. But these screws are the same as the retention screw for the blade here. So if you get a standard set, something like this, that has all of them in there. You can probably get this at Home Depot or Lowe's or any place like that. It'll be all right. So I would definitely I would pick one of them up. All right. This button, just to show you, really doesn't have any function. It's just there for decorative purposes, but it does look nice. I got to admit, I do like how this hilt looks. This particular one I got in purple, violet amethyst. I heard that was Mara Jade's color, and I figured for continuity purposes, why not? I did get this one with sound, with a silver flash on clash. I just have the sound off for the video. And this particular one does have the gold CoverTech reel. If you like to do cosplay, clip it to your belt. I really don't have anything bad to say about this hilt at all. There's no rough surfaces if you're doing your twirling. Right about here on the hilt, right below the emitter, makes for a decent choke point, and there's nothing to catch your hands on. Nothing to scrape your knuckles or your hand or fingers or any of that. This right here is just part of the emitter, and you don't even come into contact with it if you're holding the blade, if you're holding the handle right. And this switch box, depending on how you're holding it, you don't need to worry about catching your fingers on this either. There's no real rough edges on the box that I can feel just by doing this. I'm not scraping my fingers. Actually, you know what? Why don't I know I had this muted for the video, but why don't I get the sound on so you can get an idea of what it does sound like on the pommel? Hang on a minute. There we go.
Confirmed.
All right. Again, crisp and clear. Nothing bad to say about that. Nice and loud. No mistake in that sound, really. So that's going to do it for this review. The only thing left I have to say is if you are debating on this one and leaning toward getting it, I would recommend getting it. Okay? I really would recommend it. You'll like it. Trust me. But that'll do it for this video. My Instagram link will be in the description. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, please and thank you. And until the next video, be good, be well, be safe, be happy.